A Hindu monster that needs to eat raw meat to survive. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everybody, to another video. I just got back from seeing It Lives Inside, which, to be quite frank with you, was a very interesting movie. I have a lot of things to say, mostly positive. But real quick, before we dive in, if you are new here, consider hitting that subscribe button, letting me know that you like the content that we put out here. And if you guys want to see more movie reviews like this, I'll probably have the tag up here somewhere, or it's always in the description as well. Let's get into the movie review. Let's start off with the good here. So I thought that the basis, off of which the monster was, they kind of formed the idea of the monster and all the lore, was really cool. I thought that a lot of times in movies, I'm not a big fan of the lore behind a monster. It's just kind of there. I thought that the lore here was actually pretty good, but I really wanted to know more about hey, what even does this mean? The markings and the books, and I'd love to know what all that scribbled stuff out that they had. I thought that was really interesting. I really liked that part of the movie. So this movie heavily relied on the girl being near friends and family, between her friend that was dealing with the monster in the first place, or the boy that she liked, or her mom, or her teacher, just all things like that. And it kind of really worked well, obviously, with the story and the way that the monster preys off of negative energy. And if she's with her family, you know, hopefully she'll have positive energy. I think that it was just an interesting concept to kind of bring up, and the monster just straight up would attack anybody who had that positive impact on her, pretty much. There were multiple points throughout the movie where I was like, wow, this kind of plays out like a mystery movie almost. It kind of reminded, when she was riding her bike, and there were when she was trying to solve the mystery of going up to the old boy's house that died and finding the journal and looking at all the wall carvings and stuff that he had. I thought that was really neat. I really felt like I was in a Scooby-Doo episode, ooh, what's happening? Solve the mystery. But then as it got into more of the end, it just became more of a horror, which of course I was okay with, because that's what the movie was. I think overall the biggest thing I enjoyed about it is that it was just a more fun film. It didn't feel like just an average horror movie. In elements it did, maybe the monsters and stuff, but it with the Hindu culture and just her friend and her letting her friend go, and it just felt a little bit different. Something that I'm definitely into. It reminded me of those just really early 2000s straight to DVD releases, but the ones that were good. Do you know what I mean? It reminded me of something like that. The last good thing I do want to talk about was something pretty weird. The ending, when they say their prayer thing, or to encapsulate the demon, and it goes into her soul or mouth, and that's where it stays. It's like a capsule. And then we see a 1 year later thing, and I was like, oh man, does this mean what I think it means? And yes, pretty regularly she has to eat raw meat. And man, I don't know about you guys, but I don't care if the monster's out there. I'm not eating raw meat for the rest of my life. No way, man. You can, I don't understand why I don't just take her to a butcher or something. I'm just being watching her eat the raw meat. You can keep that. You can keep that. Let's move on to the mixed part of this review. So only the mixed thing that I kind of felt towards is towards the end of the movie, they had this final showdown where it was gonna be in her house, but then they shift it and they were like, nope, we're not gonna be with the mom. We're gonna go to the friend. And first of all, I don't even know how the monster didn't get her on the way there, because if you ask me, that monster should be faster than a bicycle, but maybe that's just me wishful thinking. Anyway, and that's part of the problem here. Towards the end of the movie, the whole movie, they're depicting it as this entity, that can doesn't have to walk. At the end of the movie, you know, have you guys seen the new Invisible Man? It felt like that. It felt like a monster that just had really advanced technology camo on. Because there was one part I remember specifically where she stabs the monster or hits the monster, and it flickers the camouflage or like the invisibility thing. And I was like, what is this about? Like, why, huh? It's not like flickers? The magic is flickering. Like, I don't really know. It was just a weird, and for me, like the whole ending with like, they were like running around a bathtub, it just felt like fun and games to me. I was like, what is going on here? It really just made the monster a little less scary, in my opinion. And then they started like they could like stab it and throw like things at it, and it was like, okay, well, why didn't they just do that to begin with? Don't they have not, like the mom had knives and stuff? I don't really know. Like, I think they should have just done, like, you know, like in like movies where someone's invisible, they get like the paint bucket or like a bunch of baby powder on it. Why didn't they just do something like that? Let's move on to the bad parts. The biggest thing here, there's not much, and it's a minor complaint. I wish the lore was a little bit heavier in this movie. Again, I know I talked about this in my good because I love the lore so much, and we got a little glimpse into like the saying that she had to say, but I really would have liked to know like a little bit more, like maybe like where this came from, like in like way back, or like maybe like it's just a small cutscene. The only thing I will say is that I feel like they didn't do that because maybe they didn't have the budget for it. I don't want to say they didn't have the budget for it, but maybe they didn't. But I really would have liked to see something of that sort in this movie, where it was like, oh yeah, this is like how long the monster's been around. And it was pretty funny because in the movie they're celebrating the defeat of the monster. I'm pretty sure they're like they have like this little occasion, and it's like, yeah, celebrating the defeat of the monster so many years ago. Well, what is this? The monster's still around, so I don't really get that part. So yes, guys, that is my review. Let me know what you guys thought about the movie. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Have you not seen it yet? Hopefully not, because then you shouldn't be watching this video. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed my review and what I thought of it. And let me know in the comments what movie you would like me to see next. I do already plan on seeing The Creator next week, as well as Saw X. I'm possibly going to see the Paw Patrol movie, just as a fun little review for you guys. But absolutely let me know down in the comments what movies you guys would like to see next, or see me review next, and I'll try to make that happen as best I can. Until next time, guys, peace.